Hey, what's up, everybody? HTG Brian here, back live with a game break. It happens to be the last day of the month, which is when we take time to break those games. No, I'm just kidding. We don't really break anything. We're just here to hang out. We got our glorious Valentine themed hot air balloon going in the back. So we're living in the now with that again. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I recycled that from last year. Some of you weren't even watching this last year, so it might be brand new. Oh, I just realized I forgot to change the color too. I had so much going on this morning. Not really, but was highly distracted. It's always different when the wife is home. Oh, that's not right. That is not right. Here we go. Here we go. Booyaka Shao. Can I get a pink? Can I get some pink? All right. So we are officially rolling. I've pretty much said hey to everybody in the chat. If you guys remember, I don't generally do like the individual hays or the early notification squad. I've had some complaints in the past about get to the point. I want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to watch you greet everybody. So we're going to jump right in and say welcome back. And thank you so much, you guys, for supporting us. We're going to take a quick look at some of our stats from last month and kind of compare them to this month. And I'm getting a Discord message. Hopefully it's not something about, oh boy, I should have known it was Pig giving me the old wrist tap. Giving me the old wrist tap. If you're not nothing else, bro, you're consistent. I'll give you that. What up, Matt? I see you out there. Ben's out there too. What up, Ben? Eddie's out there as well. A couple new guys showing up. Rob's out there. Preston Bros Unite. What's up, guys? Good to see you. Yeah, so last month we had a pretty good month. We had a big jump in subs. As you can see, we have just over 1,000 subs, roughly 840,000 views, which is pretty good for January. And watch time was just under 39,000 hours. That's a lot, 39,000 hours. This month, though, we flipped into the 227. That's right, with a pretty big decrease in subs. That's all right, though. Subs don't mean everything. But view-wise, we dropped quite a bit too, 715. So almost 100 and what, 20,000 or something like that, 130,000. Quite a big drop. That's all right though. We're still doing all right. Watch time is 36,000, which is a ton of hours. So again, you guys, thank you so much for continuing to support HTG inside and out of the Lego lols. We got some new information this week, which was good. However, I put out a pretty sweet video and it seemed to go unnoticed. So we'll talk more on that a little bit later. I am super excited to get into that guide though, which is only like what 79 or 84 days away or something like that. So pretty exciting stuff. So again, big time thanks to all you guys out there that are watching, supporting, clicking those like buttons and showing the love. I see Brian D's out there too. I almost missed you, bro. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. But yeah, all in all, pretty good month. Can't complain. Would always love to see those views in over 1 million. Would love to see a bigger jump. Like our next milestone that I really want to celebrate for subscribers is 250,000. But if you start doing some rough math on that, that's still going to be like a couple years out. So unless we have a big flux when like Lego Batman drops or something else happens that maybe creates some virality, we average roughly about 1,000 a month historically. For a long time, we were getting like 2,000 to 2,500 a month. Now we can see that flux jump from like 750 to like 1,100 to like 800 to 1,000 to 900. So it jumps around a little bit, but growth is growth. And I still appreciate every one of you for supporting the channel. So thank you for that. Moving right along, we had an interesting month this month. February is pretty short. If you start doing some calculating, it's like, you got 28 days and like 8 of those days are on weekends. And anyway, so it's a short month. We attended a big auto show, and it's kind of funny because the auto show is essentially for brand new cars. They have a whole line of test-driven cars out front of the Expo Center here in Portland, and you're supposed to like walk in, ask questions, and if you're interested in one of the new models of cars they have, then you can actually be escorted out front, and you can actually test drive it right there on the spot. So it's just kind of like going to like the world's largest car dealership, But we went there and we sort of scavenged around, and it turns out like all the pictures I took, I don't think I got like 2 or 3 pictures of new cars, but they weren't even the focal point. They were just like kind of in the background. there was a bunch of other cars there that were, I wouldn't say like show cars, but they were set up to be displayed, right? So some of them were really nice, some of them were really rough and rugged, but that was the whole point of the build, was like off-roading or something. So I took a handful of pictures. We went with our friends Greg and Tiffany. Greg is the one, you don't know him per se, but you know who he is. He's the one that built that red Volkswagen R32 that I showcased last month and that I talk about often. He's somebody that we go on lots of road trips and car shows and things like that together. We're actually going to North Carolina with him and his wife in April to go to Wookiees in the Woods, which is a huge Volkswagen show. So anyways, Greg and Tiffany invited us to go, and we thought, that'd be pretty fun. So we checked it out. This is at the Portland Expo Center. Here's the only couple of pictures that I took that actually showcase some of the newer variety of cars. This was some Dodge and Jeep stuff over here in the corner. And then we, come on, button. My button's being slow. Hello, button. Button. I know you're working. It's like super delayed for some reason. I don't want to push it again because I know as soon as I push it. What the crap is happening? There we go. There we go. Nailed it. First try. So that's Tiffany, Greg, and Jilly Bean. We were kind of looking at the rest, so you can see Honda in the back or over on the right side. And then even further over, there was like some EVs and some other stuff. There's a really cool EV there that I'll talk about here in a second once we get to it. But all in all, I would say there was probably close to 400-ish cars, 400. The J in Jeep is pronounced the same as the J in jalapeno. Heap. Like I said, they had a lot of old school and very random vehicles there. I'm not even sure why. There was a couple of car groups there. I think they were supposed to like represent some culture and whatnot. And so I think this is one of them. The Oregon, I can't even read what that says on the side, but I should know, something society. Some really interesting. This reminded me of like a wrapped Cruella de Vil car. Like I don't know if you remember who Cruella de Vil is, but I felt like this was a very unique build, and it had like a very odd like hood structure that popped up and sort of folded up, as you can see there. Very cool, very great shape for being as nostalgic as it is. We had some rough and rugged too, so some definite used vehicles. And what I mean by used, I mean like people actually go out and do stuff. I did not see a DeLorean, Jay. I did not. I actually looked for one because I thought, I wonder if that one he wanted me to pick up's gonna be here. But I did not see any DeLoreans. A couple of old school fatties. Love these old lowered trucks. Never was a fan of them like at regular height, but they always looked so killer being down low to the ground. I do believe my desire for them sort of spawned from a movie that most of you have probably seen, Dazed and Confused. There was a couple of those rolling around in there. Next up, we have the Ferraris. Pretty sweet. Actually had two side by side. And you can see the side of this particular one. And of course, right next to it was this blue baddie too. Kind of like, man, I didn't realize how well I framed up the picture there. That's like, it's almost like color changing. I mean, if the background was the same, that would be even better. But yeah, this guy was pretty sweet too. See the front view there. One thing that I noticed that was good and bad is the place was fully lit. It was not bright or weird or intrusive in any ways, but every single car in there had such a negative reflection pattern that it was really starting to bother me, because like every car, well, not every car, even the matte spray painted cars, you can see it like on the hood and stuff, you can see it just glistening. Had some old schools there, pretty cool stuff. As you know, I'm a big Volkswagen guy. More of a fan of the water cooled stuff, the newer stuff, than the old stuff, but I definitely have appreciation, especially the nice, pristine, like very well kept ones. Some very unusual cars for sure. Let's see here. I got pulled this up, and this was a car that was made in Brazil. So not a lot of Americans rolling around in these, but every once in a while you see one that's been imported, like this particular one. We were laughing at it because it had like 88 horsepower or something. I can't, it's too small for me to read, but yeah, definitely a region specific build, and Yeah, not very fast. They were like, it was like dual carbs, like 75 horsepower, I think is what it said. I was Craig and I were laughing. We're like, man, this thing couldn't, I could walk faster than that. Probably not, but still pretty cool vehicle. And of course, you probably saw the old bus, the more of a transporter here with the big, I'm not sure what's that on the back. It's some sort of a rack system. I can't imagine what they would put up there. I mean, I wouldn't want anything scratching that candy apple paint, man. That's looking beautiful. You can see a little bit of the inside here from the front angle. I mean, just dump too, just sledding, sitting on the ground almost. And you know, it was old school. I didn't notice any airbag system or anything, so that's probably a static setup, meaning that it just has stock springs and suspension, but maybe modified to be lower. Um, yeah, maybe Mike, maybe canvas could potentially. I've again, I wouldn't want anything snapping, dragging, scratching. Um, yeah, very possible though. Had some big block love too in the house. Definitely some cool stuff floating around. You can see there's a nice Corvette in the background on the high right there, up on like what appeared to be some sort of a lift. Um, and then quick peek under the hood. Beefcake, beefcake. I mean, I prefer the newer stuff over the old stuff. Like I was just saying, even in these kind of stuff. What up, Rackers? I see you sliding in there. But I mean, the way some of these sound, I mean, some of them just have that cam lub, and oh man, it sounds so delicious. I unfortunately didn't get to hear this one running, but I could just imagine. I mean, it looks brand new under the hood. Like you could tell this does not get a lot of road wear. You know, what up, Manny? I see you sliding in too. All right, then we had this too, an old school Jeep. It even had the trailer. If you look on the back, it's got like a matching trailer. I'm not sure if that gun was operational, but I certainly wasn't going to try to stick around and ask too many questions. You know how that go. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. No, it was very cool, very nostalgic, right? Um, then we got this guy. As I mentioned, there were some sand rail or off-road type vehicles there too. So a lot of variety. I mean, you can see there's even campers in the back too. There was a lot of stuff going on there. We spent roughly 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours there, and all in all, it was a pretty well spent $20 because it was $20 to get in. And then we got some Porsches over in the corner. And you know, and real quick, I'm sure Mike will chime in and try to make me look stupid when I say this, but you know, there's a lot of vehicles. There's a big, well, not so much right now. A couple of years ago, there was a huge uh, wave of people buying these top canopy things. You can see on the Porsche on the right there, it has a canopy on top. Now, realistically, I kind of wonder how the actual physicality of these work. Obviously, it bolts to the top of like some sort of a ski rack or you know, to the framing of the car, which is understandable. But like I have ski racks. I don't currently have them on my car, but you know, they have a big strict warning about 200, I think it's 150 to 200 pounds max. So like you know, you could probably fit 5 or 6 bikes if you associated the racks right and did everything, but that might start getting too heavy depending on how big the bikes are, how much weight is there. And so my question is, how does like a fat guy like me get into one of those and not absolutely just crush the cabin of the car? Because everyone's like, oh, it uses the suspension. How does it use the suspension through the roof of the car? You know, and then, of course, there's a ladder that comes off the side you can see, but that's not a weight bearing ladder, and it isn't quite a widow ladder either, Mike. I noticed that. Oh wait, Michaelpedia doesn't. Okay, time to jump down the rabbit hole, bro. I'm gonna need some answers by 5 p.m. I'm gonna need some answers by 5 p.m. Michaelpedia. No, but seriously, I do wonder, like, how does that functionally work without crushing the roof of the car? And is it like, is it possible you could install it wrong or and end up with a big dented roof? You know, I just always wondered. Like, I grew up in a Westphalia Vanagon that had the pop top and had like that as a young kid. That's where I slept. I slept up. You pop the roof, and it was just long enough for me to climb up there and lay down, and it was glorious. I absolutely loved it. However, that was designed to be that way. These cars that they're putting these tops on are not coming from the factory going, oh, someone's going to put one of these up there. Now, Subaru might be configuring that into their stuff, but, you know, because most of the cars that I see with these attachments are Subaru Outbacks or Subaru Foresters, or I see it. I see it on other cars too. I've seen it on Golfs, GTIs. I've seen it on a lot of different cars, but Subaru seems to be the one that has the most. And I think Subaru is a brand and a car that's sought after for, you know, outdoor travel and whatnot. So, anyways, rant over about that. But I've always wondered that. Like, I've never gotten a solid answer from anybody of how that works, because the structure of the car, I mean, the roof is sort of designed to not like crush and cave in to like murder you if you roll the car. But at the same time, we've all seen flipped cars. They don't really hold up as well as they would like us to think they do. So, anyways, enough snuff. Ooh, so there was some fast cars there too, you say, huh, Brian? Yes, there was. In fact, we're coming up to some of the faster ones that we saw. I've always wanted one of these, but I just can't. I don't think I'll ever have the amount of money that it'll take to have one, let alone maintain and drive one. As you guys know, I have a little bit of a lead foot, so gas would get slurped up pretty good, because I've heard these things are pretty thirsty, especially with the lead foot. But definitely a beautiful car. This guy right here, this was pretty impressive. This is an older generation Subaru WRX. It had been built by a company that's local, as you can see the big banner in the back, Pre-Racing or PRE Racing. They have a dynograph on the left there, which you can't really see here, but just a quick talk about this build. All-wheel drive car. These Subarus generally come with about 285 to 305 horsepower factory. And this guy right here was pushing over 1,100 horsepower. So, yeah. I mean, my car's not fast. I would say it's quick. And I have just over 400. That is more than double. That's almost 3 times the power. Now, one thing that I thought was funny is I almost went and talked to the guys about this, because one of my friends, back when I was going to Chemeketa, the community college here in town, and going through the auto program, I met a kid who was from over in the UK. And he came here, and one of the first things he did was he had, you know, some parental money. One of the first things he did was buy a Subaru WRX. Blew it up almost instantly. And then he ended up buying, I don't remember what model it was. It was a different model. It was not an Outback. It wasn't a Forester. I want to say it was, what's the other one? I can't think of the other one. This is older. This would have been like early 2000s. Anyways, he blew up 3 transmissions in a row due to the way that these gearboxes are made. They're not really, they're made to sustain the power that the car was made with, not really modded cars. And so he was just blowing them up left, right. He ended up finding a solution to it. It had to do with the gears and being helical cut and whatever. Basically, dog blocks is what they refer to them as. And I assume this one probably had some sort of high-powered build like that. But 100 horsepower, like poor. The first thing I said was poor transmission. But I'd love to see this thing skirt down a track. I mean, I'm guessing it's probably low 9 seconds, 8-second quarter mile, something like that. I mean, all-wheel drive, if it can get some traction, that's moving. You guys know I'm a sucker for racing. So a little classic here too. I don't think they even make Spoon parts anymore. Spoon was real big in like the late 90s, early 2000s with Japanese made cars, mainly Honda. Anyways, it was really cool to see this build, because I mean, this is just an over the top. This is like a Fast and Furious type build, right? But it was also used at the racetrack. There was a lot of stickers that suggested that it had been participating in a lot of events, both on the track at like PIR and other local tracks, as well as Woodburn. They had some Woodburn stickers on it too. This guy, this is sort of a classic here, and a little fun story about this. One of Reese's best friends, for some reason, loves this body style. This is an old Corolla, Celica. They call them a Trano in overseas, and they're often built and made to be drift cars in today's world. They were not. They were just an economy compact car back in the day. Nothing fancy about them. But like I said, Reese's buddy loves these things. Well, he had one, and unfortunately, he got into a wreck. And some of you might remember a couple months back, probably about 3 months ago, he actually went up to Seattle with his friend to go check out another one of these to buy and bring it home. He got up there and they spent 4 hours trying to get the car to run. Now, the owner of the car claimed it was running this morning when I fired it up. I don't know why it's not starting now. Typical used car salesman pitch. I ended up not buying it. I mean, they took a trailer up there. They went up with the kid's dad. So it was Reese, his friend, and his friend's dad that all went up there. And they were supposed to go back the following weekend, but the dad was like, until I see a video with that car running, I'm not driving a truck up there. And so Reese was like, I'll go up there with you. And I love my son a lot, and he's not a dumb kid, but like mechanics and cars is not necessarily one of his strong points. So I was like, why are you going to go up there and try to fix a car when you don't know how to fix a car? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So in the end, the car is still sitting up there, and his buddy AJ opted to not purchase it. So not a lot of these around these days, not in decent shape anyway. So, I mean, he may revisit that in a little bit. But once I saw this, I was like, oh, Reese and AJ are going to love this. What up, Aziz? Welcome to the stream. Next up, we're getting to the end of the photos, too. We only got like 5 more. So about done boring you. Classic Porsche. Reminds me of the one that was in Bad Boys, what you gonna do? Those BBSs, oh, those wheels, this gold with the red caps. Oh. And Anna says, almost your first car? The Celica was almost your first car? That's dope. Look at the lighting on the other Porsche behind this one on the far right. Like, that was wild. I don't understand why people do that with like some of the nicer cars. Like, I get it. If you're going to off-road or whatever, like if you're going to Baja rally, then yeah, sweet. I get it. But I see these things rolling around Salem. I'm like, what are you doing? Johnny's car in Cyberpunk. I actually still never played Cyberpunk. I bought it. If you guys remember, the game released. It was totally broken. People were getting money back. Lots of copies were procured by places like Best Buy and other big box retailers, and they were trying to liquidate them. They could not get rid of them fast enough, so they dropped the price to $10. So about a month, maybe 2 months after the game came out, I bought a physical copy for $10 from Best Buy, because why wouldn't I? And I never played it. I never played it. Reese played it quite a bit, but I never played it. The game was still sort of broken at the time, and I was like, I'm going to wait till it's fixed. And then they fixed it, and I never played it. Much like No Man's Sky. Bought that at launch, played the crap out of it by myself, because it was supposed to launch as a co-op game, or at least that's kind of how they advertised it. And so I bought it and then couldn't play with anybody. So I played solo. And then, it was kind of one of those things where it was really cool for like the first probably 10 to 15 hours. And then it just fell off. And I keep hearing great things. Gray has tried to get me to go back a couple of times, but both Cyberpunk and that game have not gotten any time. No Man's Sky have not gotten any time for me. All right, moving along. We've got this weird build. This was a Miata, a Mazda Miata. And it was all beef-caked out. I'm not sure why. If you notice, it actually has Porsche wheels on it. It's such a weird, and it's all fenders all busted up. Like, so I don't know how this car got to the way it looks. There was unfortunately nobody there to talk to about it. I couldn't tell if like maybe they'd done some like trails, like off-road climbing of sorts, and like somehow maybe dented fenders or whatever. But yeah, off-road Miata. Something you might see in like an arcade racer, like Forza or something. I wouldn't expect to see it. Now, one thing I wondered too, I didn't get to see under the hood. These Miatas, as far as I know, did not come turbocharged on any level, on any platform ever. Now, there is a giant tube right behind the front tire there. There's a spring. You can see the silver spring, but to the right of that, there's what looks like a boost pipe. And I don't know if that's what that is, or it might have something to do with like an intake. But again, they didn't have the hood open, so I was not able to really address or see anything. What's Ray saying? Issues with Cyberpunk. Kirsten wouldn't know anything about that. Rock crawling. Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. Like, the tires don't scream rock climbing on any level. They do look like some sort of like an all-terrain tire, like, maybe some off-road driving, but again, off-road driving, look at the doors all dented up. the fenders all curl, and the other side was kind of similar, not identical marks, but definitely a little wear and tear, if you will. This guy though, so this actually blew my mind, you guys. I've been a Tesla owner for coming up on almost 2 years, and the first thing that I was really shocked about when I found out about Teslas was that they don't come with sunroofs. Now, only there's like one model that did have a sunroof for a minute, but it wasn't the model we were getting, and like that's pretty much a deal breaker for me. Like I like having that vent on the top, even if I just pop it to get a little breathing. If it's raining out and it gets all hot and gross in the car, you can pop the vent and not get wet. Roll your window down, you're probably gonna get a little drippage. So I love a sunroof. And the second thing that I found out about owning a Tesla that I did not care for was the mobile electronics. So basically, there is not a lot of room to upgrade stereo systems. I have traditionally always had some subwoofers, mostly powered by an amplifier. And depending on which car it is, I've had pretty extensive builds with like replacing all the door speakers and the dash speakers and the rear hatch speakers. I mean, I'm sure Mike will tell you, my old Jetta, it was not the cleanest, nicest car, but it had one of the most dominant stereos in the town at the time. Like there was, unfortunately, my friend Greg, who I always talk about, he had a better stereo system than me, and he was kind of my motivation. He also had a lot more money than I did. His job paid way better than mine. But I've always had subwoofers. I have subwoofer in my Golf R right now. I had two 10-inch subwoofers in the GTI, and they still are there. Reese uses them now. So I always like the, as my grandpa used to say, the womp, 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 womp. I love the bass, and we lived out in the country, and he'd get mad because he's like, I could hear you womp, womp, womp from miles away, Brian. And anyways. So we got to this Tesla, and the first thing I noticed was the underglow, obviously, right? You could see it's got red lights shining from under it. And then, of course, the blue and red lights in the wheels there. Now, I should have taken a video to showcase this versus a picture, because the blue and the red stripes across the dash were actually going to the beat of the song. So as the bass was bumping and the sound was changing, so was the lighting. And it was pretty stupid cool. Now, they also had some features that they had added to this Tesla, and this was a show car for a local stereo outfit called not Stereo King. I almost called it Stereo King. Is it Stereo King? It is Stereo King. Yeah. So, anyways, they have a couple locations, but at their Clackamas location up in Portland, they have an EV specialist team. So they have actually configured batteries, standalone batteries that run all of the lights and all of the stereo system, because you cannot hook up a stereo system to a regular Tesla. You just can't. There's a bunch of stuff with battery, and so anyways, they found a way to protect the factory battery and add some auxiliary stuff. So this had three 10-inch subwoofers in the trunk. It had like 3 or 4 amps and some crossovers in the frunk, which is the front hood area where the motor would normally be, but because it's an EV, it doesn't have a motor in the front or the back. So it was a full-on show car. And Jillian walked up to the guy and was like, how do you do this? And immediately connected with him and he started explaining everything. So Greg and Tiffany and I jumped in and started listening. And then it was really funny because Tiffany then goes, have you ever eaten at and she mentioned the restaurant she works at. And the guy goes, oh yeah, all the time. And he goes, I knew you from somewhere. And so they had actually met before unknowingly, right? But so we started talking about that. And then I started picking his brain. I'm like, all right, how does this all work? So they found a way to add extra batteries that would power the system. My first question was, well, wait a minute. How does the batteries are going to die because the power is sucking from it all the time? And he said, oh, you just plug in and charge your car. When you charge the car stereo batteries. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, it's all protected. It's all good. It's all streamlined. And then he started going, hey, check this out. So he had me sit in the car. And I don't know if you've ever been in a Tesla or not, but they have a really nice touchscreen system. And you could kind of see it in the back there. His screen actually pivots left and right and up and down. The factory Teslas do not allow that. They are a fixed screen. They cannot tilt left, tilt right, tilt. They don't do any movement at all. They are fixed. So he had that changed. He also had one of those magic boxes plugged in, which allows him to stream pretty much any streaming content from anywhere at any time via his phone. So, Netflix is available through the Tesla apps, and so is YouTube, but that is it. You have no access to like Disney Plus, HBO, any of the other things. So he had one of those hooked up, and he's like, this is a full self-drive. I just put it in full self-drive, tilt the screen to me, and start a movie, and I drive from Seattle to Portland, and I'm there before the movie finishes. And I'm like, what? So, we have yet to take any faith in that self-driving stuff. We do have it as an option. It does cost $100 a month. But so my wife's like looking at me going, hey, Brian, Mother's Day is coming up soon. And so people were asking, do I have plans today? There is talk that if she gets her work done, that we might actually blast off to the shop that this is from and go get some quotes on some future add-ons. Now, I don't think the wife wants any of the ambient lighting. I don't think she cares about the 10-inch subwoofers. I don't think she cares about the tilting screen. But ironically, one of the things that drew attention to her was the frunk is very weird, and I would say flimsy is probably the best way to describe this. When you try to close the frunk, it feels loose and weird. There is an option you can get that actually stiffens up the secureness of it and also has an automatic open and close. So instead of having to like slam it down, you just kind of close it and it goes and snugs it all up. So this car was pretty impressive. I mean, I've seen a lot of Teslas. I'm sort of over the Tesla hype in a way. This was a performance pack that actually had the plaid. I don't know if you could see the puddle light on the ground there right below the door, but it actually has like the ludicrous looking graphic, like, oh no, we've gone ludicrous speed. It's one of their things to represent the plaid versions. So this thing basically has 1,000 horsepower on top of all this extra cool stuff. So very jaw-dropping, very cool, very state-of-the... Like, I've never seen another Tesla still to this day that has any kind of underglow or any kind of aftermarket stereo or anything. People have upgraded their stock stereos. You can upgrade speakers and make it sound better and get a little more bass and treble out of it, but never seen anything with add-ons like this. So pretty cool stuff, and I'll keep you guys posted if we end up getting anything done to our Tesla. All right, 2 more cars left. We had a pretty cool Porsche. This one was supposedly one that races and some local get-ups. And then last but not least, we also saw this classic here. I thought that was a really fun color. Had to get a picture of that. So that was the Oregon Auto Show. Took us about 2 hours to get through the whole thing, as I mentioned earlier. It was pretty sweet. Definitely recommend if it comes to your city, as they do travel around the globe. The auto shows right now, that same place from the auto show has the Home and Garden show this weekend. So pretty cool stuff. All right, just a quick update on the golf. I did get some work done to it this week. In fact, my lovely son Reese was put to work yet again to go do some extra stuff. I actually had them add some PPF, some paint protection film on my light bar across the front of my car. So my hood and my bumper and my grill and my headlights are all paint protection film, but my light bar was not. Even that low my badge there, the blue and black badge, that's even paint protected. But the light bar itself was not. So what I had them do was I had them do 2 different strips. I had them, because my headlights are tinted and because the light bar extends and goes through my headlights, when you turn the lights on at night, you could see that the headlights had a different color. It was darker than the light bar. So I wanted them to match that. So they put a darker tint to match that on the light bar. So now at night, they look exactly the same illumination. And then we had the blue. I didn't want the blue to get lost in the tint, even though you kind of lose it in the headlights. I wanted that to stay. So I had them do a clear there. So I ended up having them, you can see it looks a little different here. So, not a lot to reference here, but I think it looks so good. Like, it darkened up that white bar that went across there. And little front view here, a little front side action. And then last but not least, a comparison of the 2. So you can see where it started. I had the chrome badge, which is now blue. There's the white bar going across the middle above the R, which is now there, but it's darkened. And then my headlights, I think, were already tinted in that first photo there too. So nothing big, but I just wanted to show the updates, something to talk about, talking points, if you will. And then really the last cool things that I have to show are this month's Lego procurings. I haven't done a lot of Lego purchases lately, but the good news is you're going to get some more updates next month too, as I have some more sets coming, and I'm going to order some more tonight due to another special that has gone on. Did I miss anybody coming in the chat? I don't think so. Guillermo's out there, says, is Brian a car expert? I wouldn't say expert. I'm a car enthusiast for sure. I definitely know a fair amount about cars, but there's lots of people that know way more. But this month's Lego updates look something like this. Some of you already knew that I got the Lightning McQueen and the flowering cactus. We got those a couple weeks ago for my wife. I got it for Valentine's Day, actually. And then, well, I got her the flowering cactus for that. I actually got the Back to the Future DeLorean and the cactus during then. And I did that and also got the Sonic set up there on the hard right there. And we also got a creator set, the ducks, which is really cool. I feel like it's really awesome. They have like ducks, but they also reference the ugly duckling. It's a fun story, and I feel like it's cool that it's represented because they have the two babies that are, kind of golden yellow, and then they have the off-colored one. So I think that's really sweet. And the Sonic one actually was a special one that you had to have reward points to claim, and you could only claim one. And so I felt bad because I got it and I was going to give it to Reese, but I was like, you know what? I'm not giving it to Reese. He's going to just open it. This set's probably going to be worth buku bucks because you can only get it through rewards and not everybody has those. And there was a limited amount anyway, so you could only get one if you could even get one. Well, when I was placing the order for the cacti and the DeLorean, I was like, wait a minute. I should just try to see if I can buy it. I would every month or 3 months, whenever I'd go to the Lego.com, I'd try and claim another one, but it wouldn't let me. You've exceeded your maximum limit of one. And when I went to do it for February for the it worked. And I was like, no way. So I ended up punching it in and quickly bought it just so they wouldn't tell me, you already have this. So I got it sent. So I was able to give one to Reese, actually, and I still have one for my collection as well. So I was pretty stoked about that. So used the points for the Sonic, got the gift with purchase, the ducks on the right there, and then the other two were on the left were purchases for me. So I didn't tell the wife I was getting her the flowering cactus. And the main reason why I even made the order originally was so that I could, when you cash in points at Lego.com, you have to attach that set that you cash in your points for to an order because they are not going to pay shipping for you. So you have to like basically buy something so they can throw it in the box and ship it to you. So I was like, once I got that crab, I was like, oh, I got to buy something now. So I ended up buying the cactus. And I was like, you know what? If I buy one more item, I'll get free shipping too. So I better buy the DeLorean. So when I told her I had a Valentine's gift for her, she goes, what? I thought we discussed not doing gifts for each other. And I was like, well, I got you something anyways. And she was kind of upset with me about it because she felt bad because I got her something and she didn't give me anything. But then when I opened up the Lego box, I go, oh, wow, you got me a DeLorean. And she was like, yeah, I did. It was pretty funny. So it all worked out. So I got the DeLorean for Valentine's Day from her, and she got the flowering cactus from I. So I saw the cactus at Walmart yesterday. Wife wants it. Yeah, there's a bunch of botanical ones that are really good. In fact, I just ordered 2 more, and I'll talk more about those next month when they come in. But one of them is on pre-order, and it should be here by the time we do Gamebreak, and the other one should be here in a couple of days. But so fun stuff. I also got the botanicals. There was another gift with purchase, that the little poly bag on the table there on the front side, the closest on the bottom. And actually, I've showed you guys that too. In fact, I actually have it sitting right here. It is just a little poly bag, and it's got like one of those like wish flowers and like a I guess it's maybe a dandelion. I don't know. They're just called field flowers. So pretty cool. Reese actually got one a couple weeks ago and donated it to me too. So now I have 2 of the botanical ones. The other set that I ordered is on pre-order, and it won't be here for a couple more days yet, but it has shipped. So I might get it like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. But this one is pretty cool. And I know a lot of you were like, I wondered if Brad was going to order some of those. And I did. But because I don't have it yet, I'm using a stock image from Lego.com. but I ordered one of these Smart Play sets. These are the sets that have like the little bricks. So it's funny because the Smart Play bricks aren't new, but they're being sort of marketed and talked about and coveted as if they're brand new. And you guys are probably going, these are the first sets, Brian. Well, yes and no. They're the first sets that actually have an interactive brick that's battery powered that makes noises that is called a smart brick, right? However, if you guys remember, a couple years back, they had Super Mario sets that had these smart play bricks in them. And they made like, oh, it's a me, Mario. They had all these like sayings, and like you could build the Mario sets together, and each set had a different trigger for that smart brick. So when you'd hit like a spot on the set that had a coin, like one of those little coin things that you'd smash, it'd go ka-ting, ka-ting, ka-ting. And when you move them around and go, ah, ha, 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 do all these different sounds. So, that being said, I still kind of am like scratching my head at this whole like smart brick release because they've already been out there. Jay says he has a couple of those. You want to hear something funny, Jay? If I remember right, I have 9. I think I have 9 of the Marios unopened. And I have like a couple of the Luigi's, and I have a couple of, oh, nice. I see you actually have it built. Mine are all tucked away. I'd have to look again. Target was blowing them out for like, I want to say like $19 or $10 or something stupid. So, I literally just bought them all. I cleaned them all out. I bought everyone they had. I have no idea what the value of those are now, but I have a bunch of them. I have the Princess Peach one too, because she had her own set as well. In regards to the Mario sets, I have a lot of them, but there's probably, just guessing, I bet you there's probably 20 to 25 different sets, and I probably have 10 to 15 of them. So definitely lots of them out there. But yeah, and the wife and I need to do like another inventory. We did it a couple years ago, and we did some price checks. I'd be curious to see our inventory now with the new added stuff, and then also the new prices, because I don't know how well or how good or bad. I feel like most of my sets almost immediately increased in value about this time last year because of the implemented tariffs and increase in prices for everything. So I feel like if you were to try and buy some of those sets now, if they were still available, they're going to be 10 to 15% more than they would have been pre-tariff, right? But I don't know how that world is. I haven't really looked lately. So let's see here. How to say you have a Lego addiction without saying you have a Lego addiction? Yeah, I mean, it comes and goes. I for me, I've tried different things. I've tried crypto, didn't go very well. I've tried stock market. My attempt on my own didn't go very well. I have a broker that does a lot of finance advice for me and stuff. And she has done quite well, but most of that was like pre-existing anyways. I sort of inherited it from my grandma when she passed away. So I have not had a lot of good luck with investments. But Lego, when I first started with Lego 13, 14 years ago, collecting to sell later, I feel like my value has been pretty good. It's probably the best. Now, at that time, they were saying Lego is a better investment than gold. That's not the case anymore. And the way they produce the sets makes the investment less profitable, less ROI, return on investment. But, a lot of my sets are 10, 15 years old in that era that was limited edition stuff or limited production runs. So, hopefully, we were just talking about this yesterday. I'd love to sell my Lego as a lot. Just here you go. Here you go, store down the road, buy all my stuff, $10,000. So we have like 240 sets or something like that. and then I have like 180 or 220 poly bags. And then I have open stuff too, like actual sets that are built, like the Ghostbusters, Ecto One, some high value set like Scooby Doo Mansion. I got a few of those that are open that are worth quite a bit. So I'd love to sell those all in one big chunk. But the problem with the one big chunk is I'd have to take a loss because, when you buy in bulk, you usually get a better deal. So I'll have to figure that out at some point. I'm still looking into it. We may or may not jump into some sales here pretty soon. I almost bought that Pokemon Charizard, Liarzard, and whatever the big one, the $650 one. I almost bought one today, but we're going to talk about it later. All right, real quick, let's jump into the stream schedule. I'm getting close to my hour expectation. Here we go. Monday, I'm toying with maybe doing Resident Evil Requiem on Monday or Tuesday. We don't have any plans for a Monday game or a Tuesday game for a while. Like Monday will ultimately be the day we stream Power Wash Sim 2 DLC. But as I mentioned the other day, I'm likely going to wait until the second DLC starts or becomes available. Not starts, becomes available. And the reason for that is because I don't want to with 4 players and only 4, maybe 5 small to medium-sized levels, I feel like that's going to go in a half a stream, maybe a full stream. I'd like to get a couple weeks out of it and bring it back for a couple weeks or a month. So I'm probably gonna once the content drops, which I think is 2 weeks from now, we'll probably assess how much is there. I might grab it for the Xbox and play it solo and just see if it's huge and it's gonna be a couple of streams. I might just bring it back just because. As I mentioned earlier about Resident Evil, I generally play those on HTG TV, which would be a great day for Tuesday. My only problem is that the discovery on that channel is even smaller than HTG's, meaning that only the 10 or 12 people that normally show up every day for the main HTG are going to be there because not everybody has subscribed to HTG TV, and YouTube hasn't been doing a very good job of notifying people that are lately either. The same applies to even Jay and Kirsten when they go live for me. Sometimes it's the next day or later that night or whenever that I get them, if I even get them. And I am subscribed. I am ringing the bell. I have unbelled and re-rang the bell, and I'm still getting the same scenario. I get a lot of people commenting, telling me the same about my channel that, hey, at least once a week I get man, I haven't played Lego in a while. I just found out that I didn't platinum this game, so I looked up your videos to come and platinum it. I finally platinum it. Thank you so much. I'm still glad you're uploading. You're still glad well, yeah, I haven't stopped. Sometimes I get frustrated and almost want to be snarky with my response, brah, we haven't gone anywhere. You're the only one that left, or whatever. But I try not to do that either because I don't want to chase away people that are possibly going to be returning. So Monday or Tuesday are still up in the air. I'll figure that out and let you guys know. It'll likely be Tuesday Requiem if I do it, and maybe not. Wednesday is going to be Arkham Knight. We've officially completed, I almost said Lego, Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. So now we're moving on to Arkham Knight, which is arguably the best one from what I've been told. It's much larger than the other two in the scheme of things. Lots of vehicles driving, and I'm looking forward to it. I know that there's some question how I'll do with the challenge difficulties, but I'll do just fine. I usually do. And historically, I play games on easy that I don't need to play on hard. And from what I understand, even if I choose to platinum, which that's not my goal for these games, I'm just trying to get the story in so I know what's going on and see the reference points from Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight when it drops in May. And yeah, so just trying to get through the storyline. I'll probably do some of the side stuff as well, or whatever's needed. I'll probably get yelled at a lot. You need to go here and do this so you can get this tool that you'll use once. And I'll probably go there and get the tool that I'll use once. So, Jay and Anna, they're always raising their voices and flexing their power. Let's see here. Is that RX Flex? Did I read that right? Hey, man, 100% Lego Batman 2 using your guides. Awesome. That was our first Lego Batman or Lego series ever that we did on the channel. Pretty sweet. I only get half the notifications on time. Yeah, I don't understand that. Let's see here. Let's see. Arkham Knight looks good even today for a game that is so old. Yeah, hasn't there been a little bit of refreshing on that, though, for the collection and whatnot? I feel like that was, getting smacked, huh? Getting smacked. Ouch. All right. And then we got Fortnite on Fridays until further notice. There will be a new chapter coming this month, but I did look it up. It's not till like March 19th or something. So we're still rocking the same logo. It's still Chapter 7, Season 1, I think is how they do it. Chapter 7, Season 1. It'll be Chapter 7, Season 2 in a little bit. And you know, hopefully we'll get a new battle pass. Boo and I will start our journey to 500 again all over again. And I will destroy him like I did this last time as well. But and then we got Lego Hobbit on Sunday. So right now we've got for sure Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and likely going to be a Tuesday in there too. So you'll be getting more of my help this time with Arkham Knight. It's fresher in my mind because I just beat it. Well, yeah. So is Jay, and we talk about this. There's too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes. So hopefully you guys can find a way to cooperatively help me without being redundant. Pig redundant. Never. Smack. Jay's playing it right now, Kirsten. Where have you been? Where are you? All right, so that's pretty much it. Of course, we got htgmerch.com, which my button is not working, so definitely check that out if you haven't. He's not playing story. He's playing through side quests and all of it. You got to remember, Jay is like a vault of knowledge. Like, he very rarely forgets stuff. And if he does, he only forgets half of it, which is why we call him Halfway Jay. All right, next up, we got Patreon shouts. These people have been supporting us on patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming for quite a while. Most of these are $5 and up, or all of them are $5 and up. Some of them are 10 or even higher. So much love and great appreciation to all of these people right here. Tony, Jay, Skywalker, Michael, April, Bonnie, Ratty, Lego, aka Namo, Emma, and Anna. Thank you so much, guys. Much love for all of the support. Helps out each and every month. And all right, now get out of here. Whoa, that was crazy fast. Pew! He was out of here. Go and get. And then, of course, last but not least, for the Patreon, we also have some $10 and ups. These people all get an actual shout out versus a table reading, which is what I just did for the $5. In the order that they're showed here, we've got Mr. Dougie Fresh. Doug was a guide writer for us for a long time and continues to support us through Patreon, which I greatly appreciate. Much love to you, sir. Hopefully all is well with you and yours. I actually haven't talked to Doug in a while. His young one is probably getting close to the first year birthday. I'd have to look up some information and see, but I feel like we're getting close. It's probably like 8 to 10 months. So that's pretty cool. And that first year is crazy. So try not to bother him too much. I did see he was playing some games the other day. I almost hit him up and tried to get him in a chat, but again, I try not to bother too much. But appreciate the support, Dougie. Much love. Next up, we got Anna Russell. Anna got to participate in some play with us not long ago. In fact, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon was an absolute blast. Hopefully she enjoyed her stay, even though it was a short one. Still fun. We'll likely gather a squad and play that again at some point, as I know some of us have some trophies left to get, including the 8-player ones. Those are the only 2 I have left, and I've been trying to see if I can get in there and play that game with some randos, but I cannot get into any game if even a game shows. I don't understand it. So seems like the last update may have broke the multiplayer stuff. But yes, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Anna. You know, we might have to, now that Raised has a headset, or well, she could get it figured out. Maybe we'll get her playing it too. And she would be another player we could have, like, you know, maybe do the 8-player thing one day. It'd be kind of a pain to watch. I don't know if we'll do that online or not, like on stream, because you have to host an 8-player game. So each of us would have to host at least once. So that's 8 games hosted by each individual person. And then we would also have to have, you have to get 4th place in an 8-player game. So like the first game or 2 would probably just be played through normally. And then whoever wins those first 2 would sort of be required to either be the top or the bottom of the next couple of games. And each winner would have to join in and do that. So methodically getting 4th place is going to be harder than it sounds, but doable still. But whether or not that'd be fun entertainment to watch, I doubt it. So we'll have to figure that out. Next up, we got Pig. Jay has been a supporter for a long time. We've been friends for even longer. And, what's it been now? A couple, 6 months, 7 months? And you've been very involved, and I greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate the support on Patreon, too, man. Even though I get about 10 smacks a day from you, I think it's all love. And if Boo and or I become too much, you should say something, because we love razzing. As you can tell, Boo and I never stop. He and I are constantly bantering. And that applies to, Kirsten and anybody else who may find the bottom of the bus here and there. So, just want to let you know, I appreciate you, man. And thank you for your support, in and out of the Patreon stuff. Next up, we got Michael Garsberg. Hopefully he enjoys the way I say it, because I always put so much twang on it. It sounds terrible, but it's fun to say. So appreciate you, Mike. Thank you for the support on Patreon. And of course, I'm sure I'll see you at some point. So let's go with, here's a tough one. Tough to say, tough to spell. Radalaika. I think I said it right. I've only had to repeat it 1,000 times, but I think I got it right. Radalaika, keyword. Next up, we got April White. Thanks for supporting, April. I think you're still in the chat out there, and it's been a minute since we've exchanged emails. I always think about it in the game break. The second I turn it off, I forget. So if you happen to have some time and you want to do some correspondence, hit me up. I will definitely respond, because I will see it and I'll actually remember. And then last but not least, we've got Bonnie Miller. Thanks for the support, Bonnie. Much love. Hopefully all is well in your world. And again, I'd love to hear from you too. So that's pretty much all I got. And look at that, at an hour almost to the dot. That's pretty sweet. I'm pretty impressed with myself right now. So we got a couple minutes. Anybody got any questions? Any thoughts? Anything? I see Lizzie's out there. What up, Lizzie? Almost missed you. Resident Evil would be awesome. So keep in mind, guys, that would be over on HTG TV likely. That's my whole thing, is that if a stream does well with views, watch time, interactions, likes, shares, things like that, it helps the channel, helps whatever channel it's on. If it sort of struggles and we only get 20 people, kind of like this game break, game breaks are always low attendance, especially since the times are always sporadic and inconsistent. But so having too many of these, I guess, is what I'm getting at, that aren't overperforming, can actually hurt the channel quite a bit. So but also not as many people will know I'm streaming it if I stream on HTG TV. So it's that's kind of where my struggle is right now. So I find the bottom of the bus too. It's just the struggle bus that I find. So we'll see. I have not bought the game yet. That's not a problem. I just haven't purchased it, so it's not for sure. Reese has it. He's played a couple, probably 5-6 hours of it. I'll get an update from him, and if he's like, dude, then I'll probably buy it, and I'll probably trigger that up on Tuesday. So not Sunday, not Monday, but Tuesday. And then it'll likely be a Tuesday game for a handful of weeks. I don't know if I'll platinum it. I have not looked at the trophy list at all. Usually there's beat the game on hard with S+ rating and a bunch of junk that I don't want to torture myself for. I'm at a point in my gaming that if it's a good repetitive grind and I don't mind it, then I'll do it. Like playing Lego Party, playing those games or whatever, falling over 1,000 times or what, right? Not the funnest thing to do, but repetitive and easy, kind of mindless. No problem doing that. Perfect example, Batman Arkham Asylum, the challenges. You basically have to perfect run those challenges, is my understanding anyways. I've only attempted 1 or 2 just to see how they were, thinking maybe if I get this in my first try, I'll do it. I did not get it on my first try. Did not get it on my second try. And now that I have all of the tools and gadgets, it might be easier. I have better armor probably than when I tried. But ultimately, I'm not going to murder myself over it to get a platinum trophy. So kind of like I'm replaying Resident Evil 4 on PlayStation. I'd never played this particular PS5 version, so I had no trophies for it. And I was looking at the list, I was like, as much as I'd love to have this platinum, like I don't even know how to get S ratings, and I don't want to like stress myself out trying to get S ratings. So we'll see how that all goes. But let's see here. I will get it. Uh-oh. All right, so there's my cue right there. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't look like any other questions are coming in. So far my big system is fighting me over. It's connected. It's a big grr. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. Hey, you know what? Have you Googled the video for it yet? How to hook up? So it's a different model. It's the A50X. It's also the Logitech Astro A50X. So mine is just Astro. Logitech bought Astro not long ago. So maybe there's some Logitech influence on how they connected and doing. I don't know. They may have just put their name on the product that's still, it may be pretty much the same. Definitely different than mine as far as the hookup goes, because mine is 7 or 8 years old, at least. But they last forever. They're super comfortable. They're very lightweight. And, hopefully once you get it working, it'll be a really good mic for you. But, so yeah, all that being said, much love, guys. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow with Lego The Hobbit, and I'll be trudging my way through Middle Earth trying to get all that stuff done. Hope to see you then. Appreciate you guys. If you have not already, please check out HappyThumbsGaming.com. We also got HTG merchandise at HTGmerch.com. It's been a minute since we've had a perch. We'd love to see you come through and, ring off that bell. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. As always, until next time. Fly out.